All right, well, I'm excited today because I just got this Bible recently, and I have seen some other reviews online, so you can check out some other good reviews. But I wanted to throw my 2 cents in there to talk about this HCSB large print personal size reference Bible. And this is in the brown genuine cowhide. And I have to say, I wanted to get this because I thought, wow, when I saw this on CBD, the price for a genuine leather just looked really good. It was only about $13 or $14, if you can believe that. And even right now, it's not on quite the sale, but it's still like $16. So this HCSB, they're kind of phasing it out, as many of you know. They've updated it to just be the CSB, and they've changed the translation pretty extensively, actually. I've been looking at it. I've done a review and comparison of those 2 translations, but the more I look at it, I can see they really did change a lot of things. That being said, a lot of people love the HCSB, and it has some good aspects to it. So I thought, wow, for the price, you know, why not get one of these? It's personal size and it's large print. And when I opened up the box, I was so pleasantly surprised. You never know exactly what you're going to get with genuine leather. I have another genuine leather Bible over here put out by Crossway. And a lot of times genuine leather is a pretty tough material. Yeah, it's sturdy, and this is leather, and it looks pretty nice. But when you see genuine leather, it's definitely above bonded leather, which is very cheap. But this is real leather, but it's very coarse, very tough. This, however, is very smooth, and you can see some grain in there. It looks nice. It's still a paste down liner, but it really has a nice, elegant look to it. And I thought, wow, they did a great job with this spine. Doesn't that look nice? So it's a good genuine leather. And again, we're talking about $14 to $16 for this. It's also a personal size. So if you compare it again to this is a thin line. They're actually pretty similar size. The personal size HCSB is a little thicker than the large print thin line put out by Crossway. But it's pretty typical of personal size Bibles. Here's a KJV personal size, and when you compare the two, this is put out by Hendrickson Bibles, and I would say this one here is that the HCSB Holman is just a little bit smaller, a little thinner and shorter, and I find it to just be like the best size Bible. What's great about personal size is that it's a little bit on the smaller side. They're usually less than 9 inches tall and less than 6 inches wide and only maybe 1.5 inches thick. I mean, that's just general measurement, but this is really easy to carry around, and yet it's big enough when you open it that you have some pretty good size print in there. And that is I think they advertise it as a 10.5 font. Looking at this, the way they formatted it, it is paragraph format. The verses are relatively easy to find, and the references actually are after the paragraphs. I'm not sure I've seen that a lot in other Bibles. That's really unique. Sometimes they're right after each verse, but putting them after the paragraphs is a really pretty good idea. The references are there, but they're not too invasive. And then they don't have to put them in the center and take up space in the center. So it's a pretty good Bible for reading. The bleed through on it, it's not line matched, so the bleed through is somewhat noticeable. It's not the worst by any stretch, but if you're really sensitive to that, that might be an issue for you. But for the size of the font, a 10.5, and you can just hold this so easily in your hand. really nice that way. It's really, I'd say it's actually worth more like $30 to $40. The gold on the side looks really nice. There is a ribbon. It's a very adequate, nothing more than adequate ribbon, but it's okay. It was really it was really wrinkled when I got it, so not the best ribbon in the world. And then as far as features, it is a paste down liner, and it does actually have some nice little features in here. Here's the index, and when you get in here you'll see it actually has a how to use this Bible page, God's plan for salvation. So really spelling out the gospel in a simple way there, which is nice to have. Introduction to the Holman Christian Standard Bible. And so there's that, and then when you get to the Bible itself, we see the Old Testament, and we get into the book of Genesis here. And that's pretty straightforward. No book introductions or anything like that. We get all the way to the New Testament here, and the book of Matthew. And the paper, I did have to take the time to take all the paper. It gets a little stuck when they put that gilt on, but once I unstuck all the pages, it takes a little bit of time. It's really smooth, and you can flip through it pretty easily, but it is thin paper, no doubt about it. Let's get to the end of the Bible here and see what we have. So the HCSB has bullet points next to certain words, and then when you look in the back you'll see the definition for those words, which some people really like that feature, and it does clarify some things as you're reading. However, I think the CSB moved away from that, I believe, probably because the average person maybe doesn't take the time to look those words up, and they felt it would just be easier to move away from that kind of format. Here's a table of weights and measures, and where to turn. So that's just some topics that you might want to look up for different things that you might be going through, and where to find scriptures that would pertain to those topics. Then you have a section here on the titles of Jesus, different names and titles of Jesus, and where to find them in the scripture. So some really good features here. Messianic scriptures that Jesus fulfilled. I really like that. Nice chart. Here's the prophecy itself with the Old Testament prophesying and the New Testament fulfillment. So really good stuff there. And again, we're talking here in the $14 to $16 range. Here's a topical concordance. Not very big concordance, but it's just some topics. And then we have some maps here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maps, ending with Paul's missionary journeys. So pretty standard stuff there, and they are on just like a light cardstock paper, not glossy, and they're pretty colorful and clear. They're nice. So for the price that they're being offered now, because they're phasing out the HCSB, I highly recommend, if you want to have an HCSB on your shelf, this is really good. It's the large print personal size, and it is in genuine cowhide. This is brown. I think it looks really nice. I also think that the size and the readability of it just makes it a great Bible for all-around use, and the HCSB is a good one to have on your shelf if you don't already have it. So just wanted to let you know about that, and thank you so much for watching Look at This Bible. from a fresh perspective.